Hello and welcome back to Tidbit of Torah. Yesterday I was meeting with a bar mitzvah family and we talked about how important the lessons of the process of becoming bar mitzvah are to the experience. That it's not just about that day when you stand there as a bar mitzvah on the bima, but it's about all you learn and all the transformation that happens along the way, learning about responsibility and Hebrew and your Jewish tradition and public speaking and relationships and so much more. And while you're in the thick of it, sometimes it feels hard. But when you take a step back, you appreciate that it is the journey itself, the learning itself, that is sometimes what is most precious about a process or experience. And we see that in this week's Torah portion, Parshat Vayera, from the book of Exodus, in which the Israelites are struggling to leave Egypt, the long journey that takes up so much of the Torah, which so often, as Rabbi Shai points out, is not about the destination, but about the journey. The Haggadah isn't filled with verses about the promised land. It's filled with verses about the Exodus and that process of leaving the narrow spaces in our lives, which is, of course, what Mitzrayim means in Hebrew, and moving to a place of more expansiveness, of more freedom, of more unity and connection and faith. Shai emphasizes that it is the not yet aspects of alive, not yet here, not yet knowing, not yet that is the architecture of faith. We see that while we're waiting for the next group of hostages to be returned. We see that while we're waiting to see what happens with the loved one. We see that when we see waiting to see how our children will make it through a difficult time. And so I think the lesson of this week's Torah portion is for us to be able to have faith in the not yet, to have faith in the waiting, to have faith in the journey and the process. To not be cliche about it, that it is all about the journey, because the journey is hard and truthfully, it isn't all about the journey. But to know that there are valuable lessons that we learn along the way and that we can have the faith and the courage to live in the not yet, because in so many ways, that is the legacy of our tradition. Shabbat Shalom.